right, there we go. Hey everyone, Richard Carlton here. Welcome to another great day of FileMaker training at fmtraining.tv. I'm the creator of fmtraining.tv, where you can learn all about the FileMaker platform and learn how to build better FileMaker applications for you, your customers, your organization. This broadcast is completely free to everyone and is being broadcast in high definition to Discord, YouTube, and to Twitch. This broadcast is being recorded, which is really great. Of course, we might clean up the recording a little bit, so if we make a malfunction during the live stream, then of course we reserve the right to clean that up on the recording later on. However, because it's a live broadcast, we encourage you to ask questions. In fact, some people get aggravated when there's this dialogue with you and we ask questions. We want questions. If you have a question, odds are other people have the question too. And so I want to thank everyone for logging in. Ken and TK and Dave One, Dave Learning, Ed, Elzo, Carol, Jake, Mike, all of you, welcome once again to another great broadcast. Now, as a reminder, if you want to check out the upcoming broadcast, go to fmtraining.tv, press the left tab for the live button. You can see the upcoming broadcast schedule. That's pretty awesome. Additionally, if you want to help support this channel, right? We always say this. This broadcast is brought to you by fmtraining.tv, bringing you the greatest and the most entertaining FileMaker training videos available. So the idea is that if you want to help support the channel, make sure you check out our on-demand video bundles. We have videos that cover the latest version of FileMaker. We have videos that cover the deploy course. In fact, we used to sell the courses individually. Anymore, it's just much simpler to sell a complete bundle for a low price. We do this on an annual basis. So if you buy one of the bundles, that really helps support the channel. It ensures that we can keep coming back every day because this broadcast actually takes a lot of money to run. The people here don't work for free. Hello, everyone. Richard Carlton here. Welcome to another awesome day of FileMaker. Nick, do you hear me okay? You guys hear me? Testing 1, 2, 3. Are you there? You're good. It's day 2 of PSoS, Perform Script on Server. All right, Nick, are you ready for day 2? Are you ready for day 2?
I am ready.
All right, take it away.
Yeah, okay. So thank you for everybody to come here today. So today is the day 2 of Perform Script on Server. So we are going to start talking about things more in deep, let's say. Today and tomorrow, today will be more about how to handle in a professional way those scripts, right? How to prevent things to happen, how to check things, how to debug things, right? So we are going to talk about this today. Check all the problems you can have and how you can handle problems, how you can prevent things to happen, stuff like this. And then tomorrow we are going to talk about more about what can we do with PSoS. So I'm going to show you tomorrow. I'm going to show you real world kind of application of this. Unfortunately, I won't be able to share the files I'm going to show. Those are real world things, from real customers. So I cannot give the file like this. It's not possible. Anyway, it won't help you. I just want to show you what you can do and how you can mix both. Like I told you, that the things you want to do locally, the thing you want to do on Perform Script on Server. Perform Script on Server, you don't want to do everything on server. I really not encourage you to say, oh, let's do everything on server. So today we are going to talk about how to debug and how to build, how to put some checks, on the script. So let me share my screen right quick. And so here we go. And let me remove this. Okay. So when you want to perform a script on server, you can't just say, okay, I take my script as is locally and I perform on server. That will never work. And we checked yesterday why. Is because you need to put the script back in the context it needs to be, right? So you cannot just say this script perform on server. No. And when you use perform script on server, you need to have a serious, and I mean it, serious discipline of work. Because as I demonstrated yesterday, you can do very, very, very stupid things there. And you can get in trouble, like deleting records and change records. You can make a big mess if you don't do the thing right. Okay, doesn't mean that you don't have to use the perform script on server. Just so what I want to do is to teach you how to do it in the simplest way and in a way that you will get the result and you won't get in trouble. That's what I want to do here. Okay, so here first of all I want to explain to you things because those questions came often to me, like something you cannot do. You cannot perform a script on server from a perform script on server. So let me explain. Let's say you have a script here that performs a script on server. Okay, so you perform this script on server. And this script here, right? This script here, within this script that is this script, it will be the one perform on server. You cannot say perform script on server. It won't work. So if you want to perform if you want to have a script perform within a script that is performed on server, you need to use the perform script, the regular perform script. That means this guy launched the script on server, and the script running on server is performing a traditional normal perform script. Otherwise it won't work. It will say, I don't know what that means, because you cannot perform a script on server from a perform script on server, which makes sense in a sense. Okay. Now there's also another question that came often is, you can perform script on server when you are on WebDirect. For example, let's say you have a solution that runs on both platforms, on clients and WebDirect. A perform script on server will be performed. But what you need to know about this is that every single script on WebDirect will be performed on server. This is the particularity of WebDirect, is that every single script, even the one that you don't perform on server, will be performed on server. That means that to come to this is that you will have the same restrictions. This restriction when it comes to perform script on server. And that's why FileMaker did a good job here. I use that a lot. This is very cool. You have a filter that is going to filter out what can be run on server, one cannot, right? So you have one can be run on Macintosh, on Windows Server, iOS, Data API, and the FileMaker WebDirect. Because FileMaker WebDirect shares the same limitation as server, but FileMaker WebDirect has more limitation than server, right? So, everything you have on server, all the limitation on server will be shared with WebDirect, but WebDirect has more limitations, okay? So when you select server, that means you see is going to gray out everything you cannot perform on server, right? So here, all about fields, all of those things cannot be performed on server, right? So don't even try. And then what you have plenty of stuff that won't work, right? And some stuff are obvious, like open managed container, for example, or open script workspace. You can't do that, right? It's not working on server, right? So you have obvious things like this, right? But you need to make sure that. And by the way, you remember I told you that perform script on server doesn't work on perform script on server. Yeah. So see, perform script on server is not available on server, right? So And so you have a lot of limitation here. A lot. You have some limitation, but they are not things that you want to do on server, like move, remove, freeze window, move, resize window, all kind of stuff for window. You don't care. Now, you have a script step that are half and half. Let's say, they work, but they don't work. Like new window. It will be a new window. It will be considered as a virtual window. That means new window works. That means the new window will have the same incidence. Will have the same incidence as opening a new window on the client. Okay, so that means you can from one context you can open a new window, do something, and close. That will work on server, but you won't display. You won't display, but all the benefits you have in using that technique of coming from a context, opening a new window from another, and go to another context, do something, and close the window. This will work on server.
Okay, we do have a question. Megan has a question on Discord. Megan says, question, what specific restrictions would be the same ? Like where we wouldn't know where we are coming back once we perform it ?
What specific restriction?
It was from about 2 minutes ago. The problem is I saw the question. I had to wait for you to interrupt.
Oh.
Okay. She's if you want to look there in Discord, she asked the question.
Yeah. So like where? Okay, I think I'm going to answer that question later in the thing. So I wanted to show you this technique here of sorting or filtering this with server, and so okay, now you know what you can do. And because when you use something like a insert file, for example, and if you want to use that in a performance screen on server, you see it's grayed out. You say, oh, okay, yeah, I forgot. I cannot use that on server. Because sometimes we forget.
Right.
And that also something what I was saying is, you cannot just turn a script that run locally into a performance script on server like a clicking like this. No, you need to double check everything, because otherwise you can have very strange thing happening, or you can just keeping failing using performance script on server, and you keep not using it.
Right.
When you should use performance script on server.
Okay, let me interrupt. Ruben on YouTube has a question. I think we're going to get to this, but I want to acknowledge the question now. Ruben. So Ruben says, and I could probably take this answer, but Ruben has a question. Just a question. I'm curious about what's the best practice ? How should I pass script parameters and results back and forth? Should I send them as an array or JSON, etc.? And
yeah, you can. Yeah, so I am from the old school. So I'm passing parameters in a very simple manner, because I love simple things. So because I learned that saved my my behind many times. Okay.
So the best practice. Yeah. So he's probably.
I'm going to show. I can start right now showing this. Okay. Let's start about the best practice. Okay. So first of all, like yesterday I told you, you cannot launch. You cannot have a button that launch a script that's lasts 12 minutes, right? You cannot have this open air, on the surface like this, on the layout, a button that launch something that will last 12 minutes, and you cannot give that to everybody. Let's say you have 20 people and 20 people clicking that button, so you have 20 times the same script that lasts 12 minutes launch, and the same guy can launch it multiple times. You can launch it, and you have, so you cannot do that. This is bad practice. Something that lasts long. For example, Richard, you have a script. You showed me something last time, and that was interesting. I want to bring it up. You have a script that lasts like 20 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yes.
So what you do to prevent the crash to happen, you launch that script that run on server perfectly. You run it, but you have a way to hide the button. That means the button is no longer available to anyone until the script is done.
Oh yeah, you want me to show that real quick? You mean I can
You can.
yeah, let me just show you. This is a little inspirational for people. So
Yeah, exactly.
I'm about to so what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna move Nick down a smidge and I'm gonna open up a FileMaker file. And now this might show some confidential information, so everyone you can look at this, but the reality is it's gonna be fuzzed out in the recording. So let me just basically we have a system that so this gets back into training about performance and lean design, things like that. And so what we have right here is at any given time, I can provide, I'll just move this down here. This shows me the downloads of starting point and things like that, but these are all totals and calculations, right? It shows me Apple has a site license for our training, conveniently enough, and I can keep track of how many downloads of various versions they've downloaded, right? So they downloaded 776 Apple employees have downloaded our FileMaker Pro 19 training. And so this shows me revenue numbers. It shows me some other sales numbers. So Saturday is an off day. We didn't sell anything, but then we sell other stuff, and these numbers are actually kind of low. Doesn't matter. The point is these are totals. If these were live summary fields on the screen, every time you'd come to home screen, there'd be this long progress bar, long progress bar. So what we did is we have a script. So these are actually all number fields and text fields. And I'm not saying this is Nick's beautiful neo-orgasmic skewism design stuff. This is Richard design, right? So I can look at it and I can see what's going on. And so this allows me to, like when some of you guys go, oh, my subscription is expired or whatever, I can look you up in here and see where you're at. So when I want to get an update, I want one is that I don't want the user to do it. So whenever we see the data here, it's a little bit old, right? So what we do is the last time, this doesn't really show the last time it was run, but it was obviously hasn't run today because there's not a Tuesday in here. So what I'll do is I'm going to press an update button right now. And what happens is that the update button ideally should gray out about halfway. But the update button basically told the FileMaker server to perform a script. The FileMaker server, we've told PSoS to run, it's running, and we're not waiting for it. We're not waiting for it because now we can go on. I can go into contacts. I can see a record in contacts. If I want to open it up, it'll probably be the first record, one of my test records right here. This is my information here. It's a fake record we use for tests. You can see expense. So this is a very ugly system. It was based on starting point 3. Meanwhile, my system is not any slower, but the PSoS is still running. The PSoS takes 3 to 4 minutes to run. During that time, we don't want other people pressing the update button. So this thing is spinning. When it's done running, that's an animated GIF. The animated GIF is just spinning, letting me know that PSoS is working. And so what happens is that these numbers will all refresh at some point over the net in this conversation when that script is done. So this is being shown because I have a flag and a preference that says show animated GIF because PSoS is busy. And this button right here, when I press it, it fires a script. It absolutely fires a script. It's going to go up here. I'm going to say script debugger. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to say I'm going to fire this script. And it's going to say, hey, we're going to run this script. And the script is this script right here. And it's got some comments in here. These are internal. So if there's any creative spicy sentence enhancers in here. So it's going to come down here. It's going to come down here. It's going to come down here. It's going to make a note. It's going to write a log entry that I attempted to start. It doesn't matter. It's just a log entry in a kind of a hidden system log that I'm attempting to run the documentation. It's going to get done with that. And then it checks for an on-timer script that we have. But more importantly, what it's going to do is it's going to come down here and say, hey, and is the thing still spinning? Oh, see, it stopped spinning already. See, there it goes. So now it already updated with Tuesday's data, right? Tuesday's information and what I need to know. And so it's going to come down here, and right here it gets to this. Oh, it's exited right there. It was checking to see it started. See, it started right here. Okay, but if I run it again, script debugger. I'm going to do it one more time. This is great because what it does is we make a flag. We tell us that we have a flag. Let me just find it again real quick here. I could jump ahead, but let me just get ahead because I'm in script writing the log. Okay, hang on. Real careful. Right. Exit that script. Okay, so right here, it's going to, I'm on 2900. It's going to perform script on server, okay? Yay. Yeah. But there's an if somewhere in here. I'm not seeing my if statement, but what it does is it won't start a new one if this is already running. If that makes sense. That makes sense. So it's perform it, exit. I think what it is it's checking to see, and maybe it starts it on the server. But what it is, if this flag is set, there's a flag that's set here. Let me go back here. The flag is right here. It's a little hidden object. Look how nasty that is. That's nasty. You have to say it like Nick says. It's nasty. And here's a little cancel that. Cancel that. Thank you. It's popping other. Oh my gosh! It's popping all these other files. There we go. So here it is. It's a flag. PSoS has started and is running. 0 means it's not running. And then the PSoS is running, right? And so the idea is that if it's running, then we don't run the script again. And if it's running, then we also show the animated GIF, right? Does that make sense? So that's kind of how this works. Is the idea is that you can have people, you can either hide the button, but if the button's hidden, you don't really know anything's happening. That's why we put the little animated GIF in there so it spins. That makes sense? And so we go back over here. So it's not running. So if I want to run it again, I press it. I'm just going to have it play. I'm going to exit. And it starts spinning. And so the server, when the server is done, when the FileMaker server is done processing, it itself sets that flag back to 0. It's a single number field or text field in the preferences. It sets it to 0 and then commits to save. And then this animated GIF goes, oh, I'm done being displayed. It hides itself. So that's how we do it. So ideal world, I think you'd probably gray this out a little bit so people would know that it's not going to work. But this tells you that whenever people see this, means something's happening. Really important that you manage it that way or some way. And we've been using this in this role as a tool at the company. This has been here for 5 years. It's been working great for 5 years. So anyway, sorry, Nick. There you go. Did that answer your question?
No, it's okay. No, it's great. That's a great example because if you launch the scripts 10 times.
Yes.
Your server is down. Is gone.
Yeah, that's why we check that flag, Nick, and so it runs at the first one. The next 9 times you push it, it's just going to ignore you. It just assumes that you're stupid and you didn't notice the thing was spinning, right? Yeah. And now here's the catch on this. So we haven't, we don't even bother fixing this, but in the event that PSoS, say the FileMaker server, like once every 2 years, my server will crash. And if it happens to crash in the middle of that PSoS running, that flag never gets reset. So it's always spinning. And so we have to kind of go in and triage that and reset it by hand. But in an ideal world, you would come up with a way of, if it's been, an hour or once a day, it sets it, it forces it back to the correct value. But because technically it could set it to 1, so it's running, and then it crashes, and then it leaves it that way forever.
Yeah, you can fix. I would have fixed this issue saying that, okay, look, you stopped these scripts. For example,
yesterday. You did it yesterday, right? Yeah, a day.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you have scheduled script at midnight. Say, okay, we call that. Something I want to tell you, and then we come back to the thing. Sometimes you receive a message from your bank say, oh, by the way, maybe some of our services won't be available Sunday night, right, or Saturday night. We apologize. What do you think they do? They watch Xhub or whatever. They don't do that. What they do, they clean up the mess of the week. So such mess like this, because you have plenty of mess that happen. So. As I said, when you have a very complicated, kind of a very advanced, complicated, or with a lot of deep processes and stuff like that, you need to have a very strong development discipline, right? And you need to catch up this. You say, okay, now I build all those awesomeness, but when stuff happen, when bleep happen, okay, what can I do to fix the problem? And you need to document this, and you need to have a script that I call that a custodial script that runs at 1 a.m., 2 a.m., whatever, and clean up the mess. Okay, check for all the empty fields, stuff.
Even Claris does that. Even Claris does that.
Exactly. But you know what? For example, instead of trying to prevent things to happen, let's say you have a script and sometime, it creates empty records or whatever, and you instead of dealing with this, let's create the empty stuff. Oh, let's create them. Let's create the mess. Okay. But every night you have a janitor coming, custodial, and you have a custodial script that runs all over the table and say, okay, let's clean up. What is the record that doesn't have IDs, for example? They are useless. No IDs. No main ID. Or no foreign IDs. Useless. Let's delete them. So you clean up the mess after. You don't need to clean the mess as you go. You know what I mean? Okay. So let's go back to the course now. So I want to show you now kind of a more complicated script. Here, I created something for you, and you will have it on the sample file. I created what I call a server activity. So what is a server activity? This is the server activity. I created that because I want to know what happens. I want to know what happens because there's no way you will be able to debug a perform script on server. You won't be able to debug it. The debugger here is useless. This doesn't work. If you do this, you perform script on server, you see absolutely nothing, okay? And that's what you see. That's it. You see nothing happening. So you say, okay, hold on, how I can debug a script if I so there's multiple ways to do that. First of all, I create this just to tell me when the big picture. Let's say this is for the big picture. Let's say, for example, here I have a problem. And this, that's why I'm keeping in millisecond. I keep millisecond because when you have something happening, you can see it right away. I don't want to convert that in second. Okay. I want that to stay like a big number because I'm happy when I see 3 milliseconds, 12 milliseconds, 20, 30, even 100 milliseconds. The server won't even see it. The server, we are talking about millisecond, second divided by 1,000, okay? But here, 5,000 milliseconds. This is 50 seconds, okay? So 50 seconds, no. It's a no to me. That's why it's red. It's red because I tell my system here that everything that is more than 30 seconds, tell me. I don't want a PSoS that is more than 30 seconds. This is my policy, my rule, and I know that rule prevented me so far to get server crash from customer. It never happened to me. It never happened. Okay, so this is a great tool to get the big picture, and I see at least I have the latest error. I have an error coming back. I know no record match request. Okay. I ask something that doesn't exist, so is returned the 401. Here I have a free error. So that means in my script, I launch a command that is not available on server. So I want to demonstrate that to you right now. So how can I handle things when things happen? How I can handle things. And how can I debug a script? Okay. Here I have a script here. So I have things here, and I want to look for this. And I want the script to delete whatever he found with Gene here, whatever he found in my list. Okay. So I click here. Let me see if that didn't, because I was doing some testing earlier. And I don't want the thing to be messed up, blah, 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 everything okay. So let's start. I want to delete all the gene. Okay, all the gene deleted. I want to delete Scott, for example. Is here. Scott Joplin, gone. Okay, so I want to delete the call, gone. Okay, so my script worked very well. And my activity is sending no error. Okay, so it's very cool, right? So I launched it as 1123. Sorry, no, it's not. It's here. Oh, it's here. Sorry. 1132, 32, so 29. Okay, so this is a script I just launched. So there's no errors, right? So if I launch it again, I said I want to delete Joe, okay, is deleted. And if I go there, I can see here is there, you know. So I have no problem now. Now let's say I have a problem. I want to delete Nick, and there's no Nick in my list, right? Here what happened, okay? Nothing happened, okay? So nothing happened, but now my script is saying, no records match the request, right? Something wrong. Let me change something on the script here for you. I just realized that's a bug here. And go to record first. Okay. Otherwise, it will bother you all the time. So see, that's a problem. So now, how can I handle this? And how this activity monitor, server activity, is working? I created for you what I call a PSoS server activity matrix. So you need, first of all, you need to replicate this stuff here. You need those two link here, because this is what links from the activity monitor and the errors, because I have a table with the server activity and the error code. This is all the error codes from FileMaker. Okay, so I have a relationship to say, okay, when the error code match, I want the detail. I want to know what it is, because 401 for me, okay, you know what it is, but for people, it's better to know, to have the text of the detail what it is. So you need those two. What's the name? Table. This relationship, and you need a layout that is there. Is here for you. You need to replicate this server activity. You need to replicate this layout, etc. A very simple layout. Is a list view. Nothing fancy here. So when you did, then you can use what I call the server activity matrix. So you need those scripts, right? And then you can use this. So in all your PSoS script, perform script on server, in all of them, you added this. Like you add this. So at the beginning, catch the time when the script begins. Okay. So you start the script at that time. Then you execute your scripts, and then you catch the time at the end. But you don't want to include, you need to make sure that happened before you start update server activity, because this here, the duration, so it's start time minus the end time equal the duration, okay? So, and then you have this script, the subscript I call here subscript. What the script will do is set some variable, and it go to the server activity monitor and create a new record. It's very simple. So, and then you exit, but that is optional. It's optional. And then in the middle, you catch errors. So how it looks when you have a script with the matrix inside. Okay. First, you say start time, end time, and then you say, okay, updates. Create the record in the server activity with the information. Okay, automatically, the list will come with what it is: the script on server, the account name, the duration, the script name, and whatever error is. Okay, so this is coming by default inside the activity. Then you know who is doing what. Okay, and then you have your script. This is the script itself. That's the script. And you have so you have things happening here. Okay, so so with this script here, obviously this script, there's nothing that can be wrong in this script. Pretty much. It's not really possible to have something going wrong in those. You create something, right? The only thing that can be wrong is when the loop is never ending. That can happen often. So that's why yesterday I told you what I'm doing here. I'm putting kind of a limits, a limit of amount of records, and say, okay, oh yeah, you create 200 records. That's not possible. So delete everything and cancel everything. It's something wrong. But let's use now the script I was showing you, to delete the records here. So I start counting when I start time, I put the start time. This is my scripts. And then I catch the duration, I update, and etc. Here, obviously, I can have something very wrong coming here. The perform find. Perform find. If you don't do this, let's say you don't do this, you don't. What happened? The script goes to the data. Perform find nothing, and delete all. That means sayonara, goodbye, Broadway, because it's over. You deleted all data because he found nothing. So you need to make sure that you have under tight control the perform find. But this is not a PSoS problem. This is our FileMaker discipline in creating a script. When you perform a find and you have a delete all after that, you want to make sure that nothing won't happen, right? Otherwise, you delete all data, okay? Trust me, it happened to me 100 billion times. And when the customer called you at midnight on Friday, say, okay, hey, I clicked that button and all my invoice is gone. Okay, so it happened to me. Okay, so a long time ago, I want to avoid. So now I'm putting that, But did it happen to you, Richard? Come on.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, it happened. Okay. So, but I want now, because I have no way to debug this. Right? I cannot say, oh, next, and see what's wrong. I cannot do that. So I want to catch the error. So here how you do. Just after the script step that can be not running, can have a problem, just after you set a variable. So why a variable? Because you need to transfer that error at the end. So you create a variable with a get last error. And then you say, if there's no error, not error, okay, that means something has been found. That means, okay, you have a green light to delete all, okay? Otherwise, forget about this, okay? Forget about this. And then you continue. But here, if something happened, it will ignore this. I don't know what happened here. It will ignore this, okay, if something happened. It will ignore this, but it will continue the script. And then the script will transfer the error to my server activity, right? And you can also bring the error back to you. So that, Megan, that will answer your question. When you do here, you create a script that says, okay, you have a script, you want to delete records on server, okay? So you perform script on server, you said do it. And then you say, you remember yesterday I told you that to send back information to the scripts that launched the perform script on server, to the original, okay, you need to use the exit script steps, and you put whatever you want to return to the script. Here, I want to return the error. I want to return the error that is here, okay? If I have an error here, I want to see it, okay?
Okay.
So, yeah, let me finish this.
Go ahead and finish this, and then when you come up for air, I got a question.
Yeah, so here, I have a little, I perform the script, and then here I have a get result, okay? If there's a get result, if there's something in the get results, okay, I want you to set a field here. I want to set you the field with the error. I'm going to show you why. And then I want you to show me a dialog. And this is the dialog I want to see. Okay, error 4.1 occurred. No record matched the request. So pretty much I set this field here that is linked to the table errors, okay, and then I can get inside my message, I can get the error details, not only just error 4.1 period. No, I want to know what 4.1 is. I want to be gender. So, but remember, and then after that, I will answer the question. Remember, you cannot get any results if the wait for completion is off. If I turn that off, it does the error, but there's no return. See, I click. That's the error. The error happened. You see, the error happened, but I don't have the return because I cannot get the result if that is off. Now that is on, I get the result coming back, right? So now the question.
Well, there's actually a couple questions, so we're gonna deal with the one. So first, and I'm getting a little feedback, but yeah. Tom Myers is commenting kind of along. I feel like I'm having a Kyle Williams kind of conversation here, but he goes, let me see, make this a little bit smaller here so everyone can see. Oh, there we go. So, so he, conversation about moving data back and forth as a list as opposed to JSON. This gets back to like what people are comfortable with. Not everyone is using JSON. Right? There's a lot of people in this broadcast who are newer to the FileMaker platform. And for example, I would never throw JSON at Megan or some of the other people here because they're not ready to absorb that. I mean, they can understand it, but for them to really embrace it and it not to be a hindrance of them, it's kind of a problem. So the broadcast, keep in mind, is from beginning people all the way to fairly, well, yeah. If you're an experienced senior developer, you already know this stuff. So, and then
I personally don't use. Here what I do. I use the list. Because I know, what's the name? I know this one will always be filled up, always, because it's an ID, and by definition, I cannot have a record without the ID. And this can be empty, but I don't care because my script will handle it. So. Here my philosophy on the JSON stuff. The JSON stuff, when you create the JSON kind of list and stuff like that, this is very powerful. When you have plenty of stuff, you have plenty of items, items. You have plenty of stuff coming here. You have plenty of stuff like this. And sometimes this one missing, and sometimes this one missing. So with the list technique, this is a nightmare.
Yep.
It's a nightmare. You need the JSON technique, or the list technique can be very complicated. Okay. So here what I'm doing. When it's simple like this, I don't need the JSON. I don't need the nuclear weapon to smash a mosquito. Okay. So, but when it comes with something more complicated, more complex, I want to go to the JSON because it prevents me. It will help me. It's more complicated to build, but it will help me down the road to keep my script to run without problems. Okay.
Sure. Okay. So that was one. And then the second question or conversation was Agent Chevy asked a question about, can we use the truncate instead of delete all, right?
Yeah.
And Kyle went off on a explanation of that, but I don't.
Yeah. Okay. The truncate doesn't care about the font sets. Delete all. Let's say I have a here. Let's say I have a. I'm going to data here. It's a little bit off topic, but we're there, so we can. So let's say I have 5 records here. 5 records, and I said delete all. Okay, delete all. I'm going to delete all the 5, and I remain 10. If I use truncates, it doesn't give a damn about, it delete everything.
Right.
It's yeah.
Well, and then Kyle had pointed out, but it's a good point, that the truncate basically is a high-speed flush of the current table. It doesn't take into account if you have any cascading deletes. However, I can tell you that at RCC, I don't provide a lot of forceful guidance on developers on how we build tools here, but I do provide forceful guidance even in the book. And, some of you have been reading through the book, and as it's about to come out, finalize it, but the cascading deletes is extraordinarily dangerous. And And so I don't allow the engineers, if I knowingly know it or I find out about it, they're in big trouble. Allowing them to use the cascading delete function. So when you build a relationship, you have little functions
Yeah.
as create related record on this side or not this side. There's the option for delete. That's called the cascading delete. It's right there.
Yeah.
And that right there is literally one of the most dangerous tools in the product. And I'll just give you a moment and explain why. Um, it's a bug in the product. Or if it's not a bug, then no one's ever explained to me why it's supposed to work this way. So Nick, just humor me right here. I'm going to explain this to everyone real quick. It's in the book, but we'll skip that. So go ahead and cancel for me real quick. So let's say that this table and this table are the same, okay? And let's say that we go ahead and connect another table right here. And let's say that in this relationship right here, we have cascading deletes turned on. So this is TOG, this table occurrence group. This is another table occurrence group. Remember in the world of FileMaker, context is everything, right? And so let's say up in here we have, if I delete a record here, this little option here has the cascading delete turned on. So if I delete a record here, if it finds a matching record, it deletes it over here, okay? And so if you're on a layout, if the layout is attached to this and you delete it, it makes sense, it would delete it. Now, say it's the same table, and the same table here, same relationship, but the cascade is turned off. Very important. And some of you are going, bull. Trust me, you're going to be blown with this, okay? You come over here to, it's a different layout, but it's the same base. Say this is both contacts table and this is like a notes table. And this has the cascading turned off, okay? Cascading turned off down here, on up here. If I'm on this layout and I delete a record, will it delete the record? It shouldn't. Frequently, FileMaker will, because while we say context is everything, there are those little moments in life where context is not everything. And Kyle, I had senior engineers verify this. Kyle Williams verified this to me in some offline comments about he was going through the book. What Claire's does, it goes, well, I should be on this table occurrence right here, and it's off. However, because this is a similar sort of table occurrence up here, I'm going to go up here and look at this one. Oh, it's turned on up here. Let me delete some records. And so the road to hell of deleting records in the world of FileMaker, generally you don't do it. You just don't do it on a production system. The road to hell is paved with checking that box anywhere in your solution. Anywhere in your solution. Do not turn that option on. If you want to delete a record, script it. And that way, when people, because your customers will come to you and they will say, the dog ate my homework. It's a famous American aphorism, right? Dog ate my homework. The kid goes home, do your homework, do your math page, bring it to school. Here's a piece of paper. Assuming they use paper anymore. Oh, I can't. Teacher, I don't have any homework to turn in. My dog ate my homework. Customers will come to you and say, FileMaker ate my data. The data's gone. And you're going, bullshit. FileMaker doesn't eat data. Oh, the data's gone. Data's gone. And so I had an engineer come to me about a year ago. It's actually about once a year this happens. He goes, oh, FileMaker's deleting the data. The customer showed me where the data's gone. I go, dude, it was a guy at the time. Dude, if it was Megan, it'd be dudette, right? I say, you've got a checkbox turned on somewhere where the cascading delete's turned on. Nope. I said, I took out my wallet, right? I got out real money this time. I said, here's $20. Here's a quick 20. Put that down on the table. I bet you that if I go in the solution, I can find a checkbox. No, it's fine. Then here's the give me your $20 and I'll go find it. No, I'll go look. So he goes, and I hear this son of a bitch. And I hear this like cursing and growling and stuff in the other room. And I go, what's going on? Well, the customer has the admin password. And the customer decided that they were going to add a relationship. And the customer decided that, yeah, it's a good idea to turn on cascading deletes. And so it was on. He didn't turn it on, but the customer behind his back turned it on. Guess what? And then FileMaker is supposed to stay in its context, but it doesn't. It doesn't stay in its context. And so I'm warning all of you right now. All of you owe me money for saving your lives today. And for those of you senior developers, you know what I'm talking about. You've already been there. This guaranteed to happen. So
I have a very, very cool technique for that. I never show it. I kept it for myself.
Ah, well then, you know.
And I'm going to, I want to make, so if you guys want it, you know what to do. The buzz.
Buzzing.
Yeah.
Show it. Okay, hang on. Are you saying you're going to show us secret techniques?
Yes.
Secret techniques.
Yeah.
Ooh, who wants to see secret techniques?
So because there's many, okay, it's a little bit off topic, but it's okay. We have tomorrow too. The delete, as you said, as you mentioned, the delete on the, I use it myself, but as I said, I have a strong, very strong discipline, and I know where the context I'm going to use that. So it's otherwise, if you don't have this kind of discipline, and if you don't want to, like you said, so there's multiple technique. My favorite one is to flag for deletion, not delete it, flag for deletion what you want to delete, and then have a custodial script at night that says, okay, what is flag for deletion? Let's delete it for you. Okay. So, but also, otherwise, I love my technique, my secrets.
Wait, was that your secret? You just gave it away?
No.
Okay, you have, okay. So I have 5 votes so far for secret technique. It's on the edge of.
Technique,
I don't know. 5 votes is not enough.
Yeah, you need to understand relationship in a very, very particular manner. But it's very simple.
6.
It's so simple. People will say, "What the heck? We didn't find out about this." Before we go, I want to show you another way. So you understand, I think you guys understood.
And gals. And gals.
So let's say I'm going to what's the name? Put a command. I'm going to make the thing to have multiple errors. Okay. So let's say I want 2 errors now. I have 2 things. I have two things that can have 2 errors. I can have 1 error here on perform fine. So that will be now error number 1, right? And this is an error, whatever you want to monitor. I put something that will fail for sure. And I have error number 2. So I have error number 1 and I have error number 2, right? And now down here, on my script here, I can have only 1 error on my script. I can have only 1 because I didn't build the thing to have multiple. So I want the most relevant one. To me, the most relevant one is the first. Okay, because the first, anyway, if this fails, that means something wrong. Okay, so I want the first one. But in my message, I want the error number 1 and the error number 2, right? I want this in my list. Okay, that's what I want. I want both errors. Okay, number 1 and number 2. Okay, so here what happened when I have 2 errors cascading in the script, and I want to monitor this, right? So I'm going to my script here, make sure that on. Okay, this what happened. So I have 2 errors occur. 401 and 3. Okay, so that's what happened. Actually, I should have put that differently here. I should have said this, substitute this and this and this. Oops, sorry.
Okay, so Tawa, we have people buzzing in. Tawa buzzed in, Francisco buzzed in, Julian buzzed in, Ruben buzzed in, Arturo buzzed in. Tawa says 24 of his colleagues also buzzed in. If they have that many people watching, that's amazing. So, all right, so we got a bunch of people want to see.
Okay, so stuff. Here, okay, yeah. So that's great. That's great. I will do it. So the command is available. For example, wrong operating system on mode. That means is the error, and the no record match request. So I have 2 errors here. So this is how you catch. This is how you catch the errors, and you bring them back. And of course, in my server activity, you have the latest, the first one, right? You have the first one. So this is one way to debug, but I have 5 minutes, 6 minutes to show you the ultimate way to debug those things. Let's say I want to debug that script. This is not enough. Catching the errors is not enough. I can't get that done. I'm getting crazy. It's 2 a.m. in the morning. I'm still there fighting with this freaking script. So I want to debug this. Okay, no problem. Let's debug it for you. You just comment this. You create a new window. The new window goes to the new window goes to the context where you should land, which is data. I need to land in data in the script here. So my new window lands in the same. It lands here in data. Okay, that's my new window. And then inside my new window, I say perform scripts. And I'm going to perform the scripts that I want to, the PSoS I want to perform with the same parameters. Okay? Here. Okay? So that's the same parameters. And then you perform the script, and at the end, you close the window. So pretty much what will happen here, this what happened. So let's clear this, create new one. And I want to delete here. It delete, you can see something happened. Oh yeah, close. Okay, see, he has done everything that I told him to do. He even opened find replace. See, he opened it. He even did that because I told him to do it, right? So here how you do. Now that you have the script perform on server performing locally, you can debug it. So let's see. You recreate exactly the condition where the script will run on server. This is the same. This you have the same condition. Okay, he's doing exactly what this should do. He performed the restore. He said no. See, he said no. So you know now. Oh, there's an error here. And by the way, so so he's continuing here, and he open replace, and you say, okay, maybe that's the problem because it shouldn't be there, right? Etc. 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 So he's doing exactly what he should do to you, but locally. So now you can fix it. You can fix. Let's remove this, for example. Let's remove this, right? And let's put something that it's not, that I can do, right? So, so here, okay. By the way, here I'm facing another problem, and I'm glad that happened to me. You see here the problem. I sent because I have a problem. Why was not working here? So let's see. Go new window, perform find. Why is not doing the perform find here?
Agent Chevy said, so we use perform script rather than perform script on server to run the same script.
Yes. So, but you need to open. I don't know why it's not data field current ID. I don't know why it's not working. This perform find is not working. I asked for something that happened here. Let me see.
Take your time.
It's not. Oh, John is deleted. Let's say Scott. Okay, that's why I wasn't finding it. So yeah, so what you do, you create a new window in the context where you should be to run the script on server as you were performing the script on server, but you perform locally, then you can debug it, see, restore, delete, bam, 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 everything works, right? And then you have this, everything works. And then you exit, you close the window, and then you have this. Okay. And then you can debug it. So when your script is debugged, then you can say, okay, this is okay. Bam, you comment, you can comment this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so you know what I do for everyone? This is I'm not trying to one up Nick. I'm just sharing this with how. So remember the script a little bit ago, the one over here where it was doing all the spinning and this stuff right here. So check this out. If I hold down a modifier key or an option key, I'm going to hold down the option key and I'm going to click update. What it does is I do a check when that script runs, and if I'm holding down a modifier key, it means that I want to run it locally so I can do diagnostic testing. So this 2 to 3 minute script that normally takes 2 or 3 minutes on PSoS is now running locally. It takes it like 15, 20 minutes to run here. So just as a tip kind of thing, but every once in a while we'll run into an issue and we want to triage it. So this is doing all this kind of updating calcs and doing this, and I just hold down, I check for any modifier key, right? Nick, same thing, just kind of a little tip. So I'm gonna like let this go because I don't want to sit and watch this beat its head against the wall.
It's very important. So this is how you debug. The key is to open a new window, and then you are sandboxing the script you're performing.
Yeah.
And
I should have
putting.
Yeah, I don't know if I open a new window or not, but great idea on the window. Great idea.
Yeah, because you are full control. You don't mess up with you don't leave the layout. You keep control. I mean, you are on perfect control because you are opening a new window that lands exactly where it should land, and so you are in a real condition of the server, okay? And you don't want to leave where you are from. You're testing, so that means you're going to click on that button all the time. And you don't want the go to layout, go to regional layer, go to regional layout. You don't want that dancing, And you want to be able to say, hey, by the way, you do this, you debug this, you click here, you debug. You debug this. And so as you debug, you still have the possibility. See, new window, you're there, this is there, and you have still the possibility to see what's happened behind, because sometimes when you do something here, you want to see here what's happening. If it's updating, you know what I mean? And sometimes what you want to do is say, okay, hold on, wait a minute, cancel, and you want to be able to stay in the context where it failed, and then you can check and say, okay, this field doesn't have the auto entry calc, or this field doesn't have the relookup correctly, or whatever. So when you're done, you click gone. That's it, right? You fix it. So the new window is the perfect way to really debug things, right? And it's clean. It doesn't make any, it's clean, right? It's very clean. Yeah. So do we have any question here?
Well, Agent Chevy says, so he said opening the new window is mimicking the server action.
Yeah, exactly, correct.
And which is, it mostly kind of is, right? I mean, because when you pop a new window, so let's be real about this. When you're in Pro or even Go and you pop a new window, you get the context, it mimics the contents of that previous window. When you pop the PSoS script on server and you pop a window there's absolutely no context at all. So part of your thing is to establish the found set, establish the sort order, and all that kind of stuff.
But here, the new window, now we have this new way that we can open a new window that lands directly in the context. So nowadays, since FileMaker 16, we can say that we land in the right context, because I'm saying I want to go in data. Before new window, we couldn't say go to the layout directly. We had to say go to layouts after that, right?
Right.
So before it was doing this new window, and then go to layouts, right?
Right.
Now is new window in that layout.
And you're changing the context that way. So, but
right away.
Right, okay, but you still have to reestablish the correct context you want.
You are in the context. I am in data. I am there already. Why you want to establish anything?
Well, found sets and things like that. Yes, that's fine.
Oh no, yeah, of course, but the script is doing it.
Correct.
Okay, yeah. I mean, so because here we have the problem, and that's another thing. Maybe we can talk about that, but I'm going to talk tomorrow.
Well, you have transfer of found sets. Is that next week? Is that?
Yes.
Okay, so that's this topic we're talking about already.
So now, what is important is those guys here. You don't want those guys to trigger.
Correct.
When you do so what I'm doing here, sometime I need a layout that points to the context of these layouts. So what I do, I create here a folder, and I say those are my context. And what is a context? It's a layout. It's it's a layout in the context that I call context script or whatever you want to call it. And it's a table, and it's a copy of the, and I put the minimum I need. Most of the time I need this to just to check if everything's there. So I created a layout that goes to the same context, but I don't have to go to the original layout. I don't have to go to the data entry layout. This is my layout I use that layout, very simple layout for my script. So I tell my scripts to go to that layout and not go to the data entry layout where I have plenty of a keystroke or whatever, plenty of triggers and on record load. You don't want that, right? So that's why you have a copy of the layout dedicated for those scripts. And you will see on Perform Script, next week when I'm going to talk about transfer of font set, you will see how those layouts will be extremely useful to perform for search and stuff like that. So this is a great technique. You have layouts dedicated for the PSoSs, and you don't use that. That is the general rule to me. I never use, never, ever, okay, a data entry layout for anything else than data entry. So if I need a script to go to a specific context, which is the same as data entry, I don't use the lazy way and say, okay, let's go to the data entry layout, which is the one pointing to that context. No, I create a new layout, which is very simple with nothing, right? With no triggers, nothing, bare, and then I use that layout to point to inside my script, and I do whatever I need.
Okay, so let me just agree with Nick here on this real quick. So since we're already playing with my my script over here finally finished. We started this running and it took like forever for it to run. If you go into our solution here, you will see this in starting point this way too. You'll see a section of layouts called maintenance layouts. And the maintenance layouts are basically layouts where we have built things that we need, right? So we build things that we need, but there's no triggers, right? We remove all the triggers. They're very sanitized. They're very black and white. They'll probably be table views or something, right? Yeah, here's a list view or table view or whatever this one. This is actually table view. And so you get the idea that, so if you see references, at least some of RCC products, I don't know what Nick calls them, but we call them maintenance under a maintenance folder in that section. And it's a script that supports scripts that are executing maintenance. The term maintenance is there.
I don't know. Yeah, sometimes I have. Yeah, it's look. It's when you it's a general rule. When you start developing things a little bit more elaborated, you go beyond. Like, let's say you start building level 2. You need to prepare things. It's like how because I've been painter. Painting houses inside. I've been doing that job for 7 years. I've been a painter. Okay. And by the way, I was making much more money. But anyway, so I've been a painter. And the guy who taught me the job, he taught me that you're going to spend 45% of your time preparing, 45% of your time cleaning, and 10% of your time painting. This is what you're going to do. Okay? So it's exactly the same thing here. You need to, when you start doing a kind of a more elaborated kind of job, and if you want to start dealing with PSoS, dealing with things more, a little bit, you want to go away from first name, last name, address, and phone number. When you want to go to the next level, then you need the discipline, and you need to be well organized. That means if you need a layout to do something, don't use the layouts. Pretty much when you want to tinker at home, you want to do something at home, you go down the basement or in your garage, and you don't use the dining table. You know what I mean? Otherwise, your wife is going to kill you. But it's not my case. But even me, I'm not using the dining table to tinker with things, right? So that's the same thing. When you need something, you have a workbench to do your stuff. And in FileMaker is the same. So you need to make sure you organize, because more organized you will be, and better, easier it will be to deal with more complicated things. And I think we're done for today.
Yep, I think so too.
Yeah, form view. Agent Chevy said, okay, I said list view, table view is form view is more. Yeah, it is. Form view is better than list view. Okay, but if you don't show anything in your layout, like this one, for example, the one I just created. Yeah, it's a table view, but I'm showing one field. It's just for control. It's just for control. This is okay. Form view is good, but table view is almost great to see what's going on, right? You can show one or two fields that are indexed, like this one. This is indexed. This PSoS here. It's just a number. It won't slow down anything. Now, if you start showing things, related data and stuff like that, of course it will. It will slow down things. And even though it's not sure that performing, because don't forget that on server you don't display anything, so you don't have the burden of all the time spent of trying to display things. And most of the time, FileMaker is smart enough not to evaluate anything if it's not displayed, unless you have a calculation that you're showing with that involved. But if you have let's say you have a table view, and you show and you display that, you use that table view on server, but it's not displayed. So even though you have related data showing here, FileMaker won't take the time, won't take he won't give a damn on this. He won't even try to display those data because it's not displaying it, right? So FileMaker is smart for that. Let's be honest. Everything that is on Draco, exactly what I'm saying all the time. Everything that is handled by Draco, this is Draco. Everything that is handled by Draco is top-notch technology. We have to admit it. It's you can't even imagine how advanced that technology is. Okay, so that's why I rely on Draco all the time, because it's strong, robust. Yep. But as you mentioned, Richard, there's some weird stuff, or like the delete kind of cascading
delete. Yeah.
And this is something they introduced in 7.0. Right, and they didn't want to remove it, but they should make it, like, they should work on this and make it better instead of removing it. Keep it and make it better, make it a calculation that can trigger that, you know what I mean, or something like this, right?
Yep. Well, we're out of time today. I want to thank you for being here. So this is your captain speaking. Please return your chairs, your seats to the upright position, and put your tray tables up. And we appreciate you flying with Air Nick and Air Richard today. And we know that you have a vast variety of choices in your flying needs. We do greatly appreciate you flying with us, right? Isn't that what they say? I've been on Southwest where they sang to me before. I'm not going to sing for you folks. I have not had enough alcohol nor caffeine today to be singing.
Yeah, because we're out of time here. I just want to mention that too. Okay, tomorrow I'm going to show the sample file. I might let's wait tomorrow and because we never know, if maybe I will modify something for a question pop-ups, and I'm going to apply it on this sample file. So let's wait tomorrow for the sample file, the file that I was showing today. But tomorrow I'm going to show you real-world application of PSoS. Okay.
That's Nick typing vigorously on. So I love it. That's Nick. He's a fluffy kitty. All right, so I'm going to let everyone go. We'll catch you tomorrow. Thank you, and see ya.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Bye. I needed my button. Where's my button? Someone press my button.
Yeah.
guys just stepped up the whole way. Calm, cool, collected. The quarterback, great read, good patience. More importantly, great job up front protecting this quarterback to give you a chance. And that's all you can ask for.
Try to rally down 10. 9:25 to go here in the fourth. Short motion by Amendola from the left. Brady takes the shotgun snap, stands in, throws it left for Amendola, reaches up and snacks a high throw and lands inside the 10, rolling to the 9. Ball slightly behind him, but Danny makes the grab.